Good morning, and welcome to Sunday Morning Futures. Today, we're diving into a topic that could reshape the way every American lives, works, and shops. Today, we tackle a question shaking both Wall Street and Main Street. What would a 157% tariff on all Chinese goods mean for America? It's a scenario that's no longer just theoretical, but a real possibility being debated at the highest levels. Imagine prices on everyday items, phones, shoes, furniture, doubling overnight. The cost of living could skyrocket, impacting families from coast to coast. That's the reality we could face. For many, it would mean tough choices at the checkout line and tighter household budgets. This isn't about a few products, it's a seismic shift that would hit every American household, changing the way we think about what we buy and where it comes from. The debate is fierce. Is this a bold move to secure our future, or a gamble that risks recession? Lawmakers, business leaders, and economists are all weighing in, and opinions are sharply divided. Such a tariff would upend the world's most important trade relationship, ending the era of cheap Chinese goods and forcing companies to rethink their global supply chains. Small businesses would be squeezed, forced to absorb costs or pass them to consumers, risking layoffs and closures. The ripple effects could be felt in every community, large and small. Supply chains built over decades would be disrupted, threatening American jobs and manufacturing. Factories could slow down or even shut their doors, leaving workers uncertain about their futures. The stock market would likely swing wildly, and the Federal Reserve would face tough choices on inflation and growth. Investors and policymakers alike would be watching every move, bracing for volatility. The administration calls this short-term pain for long-term gain, while critics warn of global economic fallout. Allies and trading partners around the world are also watching closely, concerned about the broader impact. Is America ready for this economic experiment? What's the real end game? Are we prepared for the sacrifices and changes that could come? We'll break down these questions and more as we unpack this high-stakes showdown. Stay with us as we explore what's at stake for you, your family, and the nation. To truly understand the significance of the 157% tariff, we need to look deeper into President Trump's high-stakes strategy with China. For Trump, this battle is about more than just economics. It's about national sovereignty, restoring American pride, and demanding fairness on the world stage. He's determined to end decades of what he calls China's unfair play. Media, cargo containers at a U.S.-China port, news footage of intellectual property discussions, images of factory workers in China IP theft, forced technology transfers, and currency manipulation that he believes have hurt American workers and businesses. Trump's tariffs are his main weapon, designed not just to punish, but to force China to the negotiating table and level the playing field for American companies. He believes that only overwhelming economic pressure, applied consistently, will make Beijing reconsider its approach and change course. The gamble is clear. Trump is betting that America's economy can weather the initial shock, while China, heavily reliant on exports to the U.S., will feel the pain first and hardest. Trump's personal rapport with President Xi is also a key part of his approach. He favors direct talks, keeping communication channels open, but always maintaining a firm and unyielding line. The message is simple and clear. I like President Xi, but I love the USA. Trump wants the world to know where his loyalties lie. The ultimate goal: use a combination of personal diplomacy and America's economic might to either force a historic deal with China or, if necessary, isolate China further from the global economy. It's a bold, unconventional approach that breaks from traditional diplomatic playbooks and has sparked debate worldwide. The world is watching closely, waiting to see if Trump's gamble will pay off, or if it will reshape global trade for years to come. The trade war just escalated. China is threatening to restrict rare earth mineral exports. These 17 elements are vital for everything from smartphones to fighter jets, and China controls over 80% of the global supply. This move signals Beijing is ready to weaponize its supply chain dominance. Back-channel trade talks are tense, and the 157% tariff has hardened China's resolve. The upcoming APEC Summit is now the world's focus. Trump and Xi will meet for high-stakes negotiations. The rare earth threat exposes a critical U.S. vulnerability. Our national security depends on these materials. The U.S. is scrambling to find alternatives, but rebuilding capacity will take years. In the short term, China holds a strong hand. The summit will decide more than tariffs. It's about intellectual property, market access, and supply chain security. The outcome could pull us back from the brink or lock us into a new economic Cold War. The stakes are global. The world waits for the outcome. I spoke with a top economic analyst, someone who has spent decades studying the complex relationship between the United States and China. This expert helped put the current moment into perspective, highlighting just how significant these recent events are in the broader context of global economics. Donald Trump is the first modern president to directly confront China's decades of unfair trade practices and widespread intellectual property theft, something previous administrations largely avoided. For years, U.S. policy was based on engagement, hoping that as China grew wealthier, it would gradually open up and play by international rules. But that transformation never truly happened. When China joined the World Trade Organization, it gained unprecedented access to global markets, but it kept its own markets tightly closed and used state power to undercut foreign competition, making it difficult for American companies to compete fairly. Intellectual property theft alone costs the U.S. hundreds of billions of dollars every year. Wealth and innovation lost to Chinese firms, impacting American jobs and industries. Previous leaders raised concerns quietly behind closed doors, but they avoided any major confrontation, preferring diplomacy over direct action. Trump broke with that long-standing consensus, using tariffs as a direct and public challenge to the U.S.-China economic relationship, signaling a new era of confrontation. This was a historic shift in global economic policy, forcing a worldwide debate about how to respond to China's growing ambitions and what the future of global trade should look like. China's Made in China 2025 plan aims to dominate the industries of the future, like robotics, artificial intelligence, and advanced manufacturing, a direct challenge to U.S. technological leadership. By taking bold action, Trump accelerated what many saw as an inevitable confrontation between the world's two largest economies, making the world's nations consider where they stand, and in some cases, forcing them to choose sides in this new global rivalry. Whether you agree with his methods or not, Trump's approach has sparked intense debate across the country and around the world. One thing is clear: the debate over how to deal with China has fundamentally changed, and the world is watching closely to see what happens next. Rare earths are just one example of America's deep dependence on Chinese supply chains. Pharmaceuticals are another. Many key drug ingredients come from China, giving Beijing leverage in a crisis. This dependency touches nearly every sector: electronics, clothing, cars, tools. Offshoring made goods cheaper but left us vulnerable. COVID-19 exposed how fragile our supply chains are. When the pandemic hit, we couldn't produce enough basic medical gear because we'd outsourced it all. Now, the trade dispute is pushing a national rethink. Can we bring critical manufacturing back home? The administration's goal is to decouple from China in key sectors, encouraging companies to reshore or move to allied nations. It's a massive, costly task, but the alternative is greater risk. Our security, military and medical, depends on controlling our own supply chains. The stakes are higher than ever. How do tariffs give the U.S. leverage? China's economy relies on exports, especially to America. A 157% tariff threatens to shut China out of its top market, pressuring its factories and social stability. Tariffs also generate billions for the U.S. Treasury, some of which is used to offset pain for American farmers and businesses. The threat has already pushed companies to shift production out of China. China Plus One is now a trend. Every factory that leaves China weakens Beijing's leverage and strengthens America's hand. The goal isn't permanent tariffs, but to force China to end IP theft, force tech transfers, and open its markets. The U.S. demands real, verifiable change. Tariffs are the hammer to forge a fair relationship. The administration is betting China will eventually concede. The outcome will reshape global trade. The stakes couldn't be higher. Amid the China showdown, another story lingers in Washington: the Russia investigation. The DOJ is weighing new criminal referrals tied to the origins of the probe, reigniting partisan debate. Some see this as a distraction from urgent economic issues. Others call it accountability. The timing adds complexity to an already turbulent political climate. For the administration, it's both a challenge and an opportunity. A divided nation struggles to project strength abroad. As we face external threats, our internal unity matters more than ever. America can't confront China alone. Strengthening alliances is key. The administration is working closely with Japan and Australia, building a united front on trade, security, and technology. Joint military exercises, intelligence sharing, and coordinated diplomacy send a strong message to Beijing. This coalition offers an alternative to China's Belt and Road, prosperity through partnership, not dominance. Our alliances are our greatest asset in this long-term competition. The central goal: fair, reciprocal trade, where American workers and businesses compete on a level playing field. It's about protecting innovation and building a global system based on rules, not state subsidies or theft. The path ahead is tough, but America has always risen to great challenges. By standing with allies and investing at home, we can forge a brighter, more secure future. Trade should be a source of prosperity, not conflict. Thank you for joining me on Sunday Morning Futures.